to engage in a particular case, if there's not a determination that the numbers impacted by that case would make the election outcome determinative. In other words, if the president were to hold on to Georgia and hold on to Arizona, or to retake Arizona and to retake Georgia, I guess at this point, then the question is, would Pennsylvania be outcome determinative? And the answer to that, depending on how it comes out, let's say even if Biden's up 30,000 votes, yeah, probably is outcome determinative. Yeah. If Biden was up 250,000 votes or 300,000 votes, or if the president did not take Georgia,
right, or in Arizona falls,
yeah,
or Nevada falls,
the numbers to get to 270 don't exist. So what you have to do right now is you got to focus your attention on the vulnerable states. I think Pennsylvania clearly is in that. I filed, as you know, a motion to intervene in an existing case that's up there. The other side responded yesterday. We filed a response this morning, and then we'll find out if we get to intervene. I'm sure if there's a real case in controversy, we're going to get to intervene. There may well be another case filed today in Pennsylvania. Don't know the details of it yet, working through that with the lawyers there on the ground. But that may be filed today, pointing to irregularities in the voting process. If that lawsuit's filed, and I think it will be filed as long as it's viable, the question still becomes, is there a pathway to get there? Because, Andy, the Supreme Court's reluctant to get into an election unless, like in Bush versus Gore, where it was outcome determinative. And if you're part of the ACLJ, we have to look at the evidence. We have to put together that evidence. Jordan knows this. We were looking at briefs until, I don't know what time. Finally, you said I needed to go to sleep, whatever that was, around 1 o'clock in the mornings. And so we're looking at what the legal. You got to do this very clinically. I want to say this. It's not that you're not keyed up and emotional, and we got our job. It's like the surgeon about to do surgery. You got to be clinical about this. So we're wide-eyed, looking at the real issues, narrowing the scope of those issues so that we have a cognizable case that can then go to court. So it can't be, I heard from my cousin a felt tip pen was used and they didn't count the felt tip pen. It has to be a real issue, and we're hearing that in Pennsylvania that real evidence is being, at least that's what we're being told, being put together. That would be a basis upon which the lawyers in Pennsylvania, not Jay and Jordan and Andy, the lawyers in Pennsylvania would bring an action in state court challenging that, which would move rapidly to the other courts, the state Supreme Court, and then ultimately the Supreme Court of the United States. Supreme Court of the United States, then it's in our bailiwick. And what we have to do, we're looking at all of this, of course, in the lower courts as well, to make sure everything's being done properly. But what we have to do at that point is then say, okay, here's the case, here are the issues. I've talked to my colleagues, all of us Supreme Court advocates. We've got a great team, a world-class team of lawyers. But you got to make sure it's outcome determinative and then all these other things come into place. And like Jordan said, if a state of Georgia falls away and there's not a out, there's a recount.
Right.
Okay, then we're still in the hunt. And then you still got a cognizable, recognizable outcome determinative claim. If Arizona comes in and the president takes it over, well, then you're even more in the thick of it, because then, boy, Pennsylvania really, and Georgia for that matter, are really out.
We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.